Welcome back, my friends. Today I have this tuxedo. It's very simple and it have very simple sleeves. Usually these sleeves we see in women's and also men's style suit. I want to show you how to shorten this style of sleeves, which is very easy. First, I marked 1.5 inches from one side and other side, and then I'm gonna mark with chalk. After marking, we need to detach the lining from the right fabric. To open the lining, I'm gonna use seam ripper, and also for me it's easier to use razor blade. If you don't have practice with yet, then don't try it and use just seam ripper. After opening the sleeve, I always check inside to see if we have any fusible. On this sleeve, it is not, and we do need to add it up. Before that, I'm gonna push the lining inside, then I'm gonna measure 2 inches from the mark that I marked. So sometimes if, as you see, the edge is curved, we need to be straight. This is probably a cheap suit, so this is why it was made in a rush, and I always make sure it's a perpendicular to the line, and then we have straight line. And then I'm gonna measure 2 inches. Sometimes you can leave 2.5 inches, but for this one we'll leave only 2 inches extra, and then we'll cut the rest of it. Next, we need to turn the sleeve to the wrong side. Now I'm gonna pull the lining because we need to add the fusible on the right fabric. So because the edges are a little curved, I'm gonna press a little bit the edges because I need straight edges. And then we know the 2 inches that we marked, that's gonna be our line. So it's okay if our line disappears while we're pressing the fusible on. I'm gonna use the 2.5 inches fusible. If you don't have the tape, you can buy the fabric and cut it yourself, or you can just buy the fusible tape. And then we're just gonna press it, and you can use a little bit of the steam, and then you have to hold it a little bit more. That way the fusible stick to the fabric very well. There are many ways you can shorten the sleeves, but also there are many different styles of sleeves. If you would like to learn how to shorten the sleeves on different styles on men's suits and ladies suits, I am creating a course where I teach you how to alter men's suits, pants, and shirts. Next, what we're gonna do, we have to shorten the lining. What I'm doing is just taking the piece that I cut from the sleeve, I'm just measuring and then cut same amount on the lining. Then I'll do same thing with the second sleeves as well. After we finish all with fusible, I'm gonna turn to the right side, and now as you see, I'm ready to remark again the line. So we're gonna mark 2 inches and we are ready to finish the sleeve. When I mark the line, as you see, I hold the ruler and press it a little bit, and then I mark with the chalk. Make sure you don't mark very hard, because on some fabrics, if you mark too hard with a chalk, you're gonna see the stain after you finish pressing. So make sure you don't push it too hard. And then I'll mark the second sleeve as well, and let's start closing the sleeve. Before we closing the lining with the sleeve, we need to reinforce our seams on one side and other side. After we reinforce the edges, we are ready to stitch the seam. As you see, I'm folding right at the seam, and we need to sew the allowance together. So this is our line where we're gonna fold, and here how I'm gonna sew it. you go behind the fabric and you just hold the allowance together. Then when you pull to the wrong side, only thing you need to do is just a little stitch right here, so the allowance will keep the fabric folded, and that way the sleeves is quality made. If you do not make this stitch, the sleeve, it will flow probably. Sometimes the lining will come to the right side and it will be just messy. So this is very important where you are sewing the allowance together and have a nice line of the sleeve. After we reinforced the allowance together from one seam, we have to do exactly the same thing to the other seam as well. Next step, we have to press exactly the line that we marked with the iron. We want to make sure the line is straight from one side to other side. Make sure when you press it, don't pull the fabric. You don't want to make the cup too large. So this is why you just fold it and press it. Next, to close the lining, we have to open the inseam. As you see from the sleeve, you have to open with seam ripper and open just as much as your hand can go through. Then we're just gonna pull the seam. As you see, I'm matching the inside seam from the lining with the right fabric, and then I hold them both and pull through that opening. Now I'm just gonna match the seam, and we have to do the stitch all around a quarter. Make sure to match the lining and the right fabric at the same edge, and then we're just gonna sew all around 1/4 from the edge. After you finish stitching, make sure to twist back the sleeve, and then you can pull back the sleeve to the wrong side, to the right side. Now, as you see, the lining is closed. It's beautiful and nice. Now the last touch, we have to close the lining with a simple top stitch. Next, we're gonna finish the other sleeve as well, also matching the seam, do the stitch, pull it back and close the lining. After we finish the sleeves, we need to make sure to press a little bit of the lining inside. Make sure don't stretch it out. And also, the very important thing, you see these creases right here, you wanted to make sure that sleeve doesn't have no crease on any side, because you wanted to make sure the sleeve is all nice shape with no crease, none of the sides. And that's all, and our sleeve is ready. I hope this tutorial will help at least one person. Thank you so much for watching, and subscribe for more.